Finally, a school board steps up and does the right thing. Hello, my name is Todd. Welcome back to the Teal Jack channel. It is a new year, 2022. Hope you're having a good year so far, and thank you once again for tuning in to my channel. I greatly appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch another one of my videos. And what I got for you today is the school board of the Dundee-Newburgh School District, which is more or less south and kind of west from Portland, about a 45-minute to an hour drive out of Portland down Highway 99. Anyway, that school district has decided to ban Pride and BLM, should we say paraphernalia. It looks like signage, maybe flags, that sort of thing. Now, this is obviously a hot debate and a hot topic within the school district. I'm sure there's going to be some potential lawsuits that come about from freedom of speech and, all of that kind of jazz. But I take the stance of the school board, which voted 4-3, so it wasn't an overwhelmingly victory to ban these things, because there definitely were people that voted for it to stay. And I read through an article, and this article comes from the Press News Agency, but there's plenty of other ones if you want to see from our local news networks that do the TV shows. You can even probably find it on MSN, as I read one article there. And I know there are parents that are upset that these are being removed, that their kids don't feel safe in school. But let's stop and think about this for a minute. If having a pride flag or a pride sign or any of the BLM paraphernalia in a school is what makes your son or daughter feel safe, there's a problem. Let's just go back to making school a politically free environment and make it an environment to educate our children, not to leftist propaganda, not to right-wing propaganda, but just simply educate our children on history, presenting facts as they stand, not under the 1619 propaganda lie, but just flat out teach the facts on history. Let's teach them science, and we teach them math. We teach them how to read and how to write essays well, how to write stories, maybe even poetry. Let's get back to a formal education, because as we all know, our schools are lacking in proper teaching of our children, and we got kids graduating from high school who can't even write a basic paper. And that's what school needs to get back to. Take this BLM garbage that is nothing but a propaganda lie of Marxism, and trying to promote that and get rid of the nuclear family, which was in their bios until they decided to remove it because they were receiving lots of flack from it. Let's get this organization out that did nothing but put a whole bunch of money in the founders' pockets, under which they went out and bought all sorts of property. Let's get this thing removed from the schools. It's controversial in the first place. And for kids like my own kids, how is having that in the schools making my children feel safe, who are obviously Caucasian, and they've gotten discriminated against because they've made comments about the BLM movement in the first place, and then they are instantly labeled a racist, and they have had problems in school as a direct result of their stance of all lives matter, not just black lives. And they understand that there is an issue in the black community, that they feel that they are being targeted by the police and whatnot, and we can't answer for that because we are not a person of color, whether it be brown or whether it be black or yellow, red, and white, because after all, they are all precious in His sight. I digress. But the point being is, just as those black kids don't know what it's like to live in white skin, neither do my white children know what it's like to live as a black person. So the big thing is that BLM just seems to promote racism. And there's no ands if buts about it. Just look at the history and you will see that that's what that organization promotes. So it's a political organization, has no business being in the schools. And as far as the pride flag, personally, I speak for myself and my family that we are literally appalled at the pride flag because they've taken the symbol of God's promise to never again destroy the world, i.e. with the flood post-Noah, when He established the rainbow in the first place, and they've taken a hold of that rainbow flag as their idol? I don't know. And how is that something that should be promoted in school? Somebody's sexual life. I mean, it's terrible that we have schools that are promoting this stuff. In fact, one of my daughters at the Portland Public School District has a teacher that's constantly posting that stuff on her emails. And I have personally requested her to remove me from her email list because I'm tired of the pride flag. I'm tired of the BLM garbage. I find it offensive. And yet, there it is, still coming across my emails. So where does that leave us now? All I can say is I'm very proud of this school district for stepping up to remove political speech. And why is that? Because it does nothing but cause divide. You have your BLM supporters and your pride supporters, and then on the other side you have your people that say this is offensive, it's disgusting, it's against God's laws, and let's remove it. So the best way to meet middle ground is to remove the political flags, the political posters from our classrooms. Now, I would say if you're an individual and you want to wear a Black Lives Matter t-shirt, feel free. No more than my children should feel free to wear a liberalism find a cure shirt or any other political shirt like a MAGA shirt or a MAGA hat. I don't care. Whatever it might be, yeah, the kids should feel free to wear that material. But having pride flags and BLM flags or pride signs and BLM signs up in the school building should be removed. It needs to be a, should we say, neutral ground and solely for education and not brainwashing of our kids into some sort of political stance or ideology. Now, as far as children that get called the N-word because they're black, I'm sorry. It's a horrible word. It's not used by me and my family, but it is used by others. And it's no different than my family and my kids at school being called a bigot because they are against homosexuality, as they have been called in school. And they find that word very disgraceful, very derogatory towards them, amongst many other words that they get called because they are Christians and hold to a Judeo-Christian value and their belief system. And they get called things at school, and guess what? They brush it off as it's just these kids being mean. And I'm sorry, it's the same thing I dealt with as a kid in school when everybody found out I came from California and I was told almost on a daily basis, go back to California, you're not wanted here. And I didn't have a lot of friends in school because of that. A great divide because we are from California and we are looked as something other. So I understand, and I've been called much worse than that. So get a little backbone. I'm sorry, there are mean people in the world, and the world will never be completely free from racism. So what do? You try yourself to live your life as God would have you live your life under His values, His standards, and His morality. And for me, I don't look at somebody's skin color. You know, that's the one aspect of Martin Luther King that I like. Look at a content of a person's character, not the color of their skin. And what is BLM wanting? You to look at the color of the skin and somehow separate them as something special, which is what the critical race theory is doing. And that also needs to be removed from any classroom. But let's just say, let's keep the BLM in the schools. Let's keep the pride flag in the schools. Do you honestly believe that if I came up with a flag that quoted this, do you honestly believe if I had a flag and my kids took that to school, or a poster and a sign and took that to school, that that would be allowed? No. More than likely it'd be called hate speech. But it's okay to bring BLM and pride garbage into the school that others find offensive. It's okay to do that. But it wouldn't be okay for my children to do this, or even bring a Christian flag. I guarantee you that would not be allowed in the classroom because it'd be deemed as religious. Even though, in their perspective, it could be viewed as political. Thus, I say, none of it should be in the schools and none of it should be promoted by the school district. The school district's only job is to educate our children based on facts and truth, and not some form of lie. Teaching them mathematics, teaching them science, educating them to read and write, and to know history. Factual history based in proof and evidence. And I'm sure it's fine to have political discussion in a political classroom. And I'm okay with that. But it shouldn't be okay to silence the voice of the others. And that's in effect what BLM does. You either stand with them or you're considered a racist. You either stand with the pride group or you're considered homophobic and all that other garbage that they pitch. And our society needs to come back to reality. That there are people that don't agree with those things, and you're not a bigot if you don't agree with them. You're not a racist if you don't agree with it. And let's get back to that. Although I'm pretty sure that won't happen. But congratulations to the Dundee Newburgh School District for doing the right thing. Thank God somebody's waking up. Those are my thoughts. Tell me what you think. Put your comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Take care. God bless. Have a wonderful day. If you have made it this far in my video, I sincerely thank you for watching its entirety. If you like my content, please hit the subscribe button. Remember to hit like as well. And feel free to watch one of my other videos. I will post them down below. Thanks again for taking time out of your valuable day to watch my video. It sincerely means a lot to me. Take care. God bless. Feel free to leave your comments. We'll see you next time.